And hello everyone, Gabe the Izzard here. Today I am in Mesa, Arizona, and I am in front of the Commemorative Air Force Museum here in Mesa. And I have been here before, but today I am going on a flight lesson in a World War II biplane. It looks something like that right over there. That might be it, maybe not. But I am about to do this. This is going to be awesome. I love the idea of flying recreationally, but it's like flying like a pilot. I've done it once, and it was terrifying. But I'm going to get a lesson and fly over, I think, the McDowell Mountains, which are behind me. See how it goes. Go ahead, fly along.
Let's take a look at this here.
All right, just gonna get a 360 here.
Pilot in World War II. This is the first plane they would put the cadets into to teach them how to fly.
Right.
Most of them were farm boys. They'd never been on an airplane before, like my dad.
Yeah.
And they could
Where
drive
was
tractors.
he from?
He was in Utah. Joined the Navy. We're going to put you in the front seat. That's where the students sit. The instructor would sit in the back.
Mm-hmm.
There's dual controls. You know, you've got a control stick in front of you. I've got a stick. They're tied together. When I move mine, it moves yours.
Okay, so
like
it'll be
driver's
going
ed.
around. All right, all right.
There's pedals down on the floor where you push that they move that blue rudder. We'll talk about that as we walk around. You might want to take a picture of that.
Sure.
Every manufacturer puts a data plate on their airplanes. So you can see
Wichita, Kansas.
Yeah, made in Wichita. All of them were built in Kansas. That's an 80-year-old. That's real. This is the big round engine called a radial engine. Each one of these things are called a cylinder. They come out radially like spokes on a wheel, so it's called a radial engine. It's 225 horsepower.
So how old is this engine? Or I mean, it's
from the 1940s.
40s. It's original.
Yeah, it's a
the Lycom. Okay,
Lycoming.
Okay, yeah. Because looking into it, I saw that that's what it was. It was, yeah, and
Lycoming and Continental. They had two different types that the government would buy to put on this plane.
And so they're just so well made, and like you can just maintain these and keep these going for so long.
I overhauled this here very recently, so it's like brand new right now.
Right.
Even though it's 82 years old.
I mean, I know you'd have to just maintain it and keep it going, but I mean, like,
but it was totally apart. All new piston rings, all new bearings, all new valve guides, everything. It's ready to go. You're going to sit in this front seat. You notice there's a windshield in front of you, a windshield in front of me. They work very well as long as you stay behind them. So when you're sitting in a cockpit, if you stick your head out in the wind, you're going to get blasted, of course.
Right.
If you stick your phone out in the wind, not a good idea.
Right.
If you want to stick your hands up and feel the wind, that's okay, but it's going to pull your hands back and it's cold, but it's okay. Just don't have your camera in your hand.
Sure.
You're going to hear lots of things in the headset because we're in a controlled airspace. There's a control tower. He talks to all the planes within 5 miles of the airport. He's like the traffic cop. He keeps us all separate, tells us where to go, what to do. You're going to hear all this talk. It might sound like Greek to you, but I know what he's saying.
Right.
Okay? So I'm listening to him the first 5 miles. As soon as we get 5 miles away, I can turn him off. We're outside of his control area.
Okay.
And that's when I'll say, okay, Gabe, we can talk now.
All right.
For the
So
first
keep
5
my
miles,
lips zipped.
Just try to listen. If you have an emergency, certainly you can talk.
Right.
But when you hear people talking, try not to talk because I'm listening.
Okay. Gotcha.
There's 3 moving parts to the control system in all airplanes. There's this thing called an aileron. That blue thing's a rudder, like on a boat. And then this horizontal yellow one's called the elevator. We're going to talk about each of them.
Okay.
So when you sit in that front seat, you'll have this big wooden control stick in front of you. It looks like a baseball bat. It's connected to this aileron. This goes up to the control stick. When you move the stick to the right, this goes up. When you move the stick to the left, it goes down. So you're making this move with your hand, right?
Okay.
There's one on the other wing that's doing the opposite. So they're doing like this.
Okay.
This makes the airplane roll. So push the stick this way, we're gonna roll that way. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So it's very easy. You don't have to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
If you pull the stick back, it moves this one. Come back here. This is called the elevator. It's on both sides, see?
Right.
So pull the stick back. Why do you think it's called elevator?
We're gonna go up, we're gonna go down.
Exactly. Very simple.
So
again.
back, up, down.
Yeah, it's just, you don't even think about it. You push forward, you're gonna go down.
Right,
you know?
right.
Okay. The last one's the rudder. Do you ride boats or?
Some. I do know that these are worked with pedals.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a rudder pedal. You push the right one, it goes right. And that makes the nose of the airplane yaw to the, this is called yaw, when you go like that. Yaw right or yaw left. So it'd be like a boat would turn like this. But you don't turn an airplane like this. You turn an airplane like this. So you use the stick and the rudder together.
So, okay, so you would be
right stick, pedal.
and right to...
Exactly. And while you do, you're looking out that window. There's the gas tank way up top there. See where the filler cap is?
Yep.
Right in between those two wooden wings, there's that metal tank, just in the center. You can see the metal part.
Yeah.
46 gallons.
What kind of range does that give?
It burns 13 gallons an hour. So it can go about 3 hours at about 85 miles an hour, about 250 miles.
Okay.
But after a couple of hours, you're ready to land.
This isn't made for
Not
cruising around from place to place. This is made
young
to
people how to fly.
Right, right.
You can fly. I brought this from California down here. Sometimes the cars are beating you on the freeway. That mirror that you see there, to the left of the fuel gauge, that big round mirror, see it? That's so you can see me and I can see you. My father learned in these, like I told you. And so I asked him, why did you have the mirror? He says, so I could see my instructor. I said, who cared to see your instructor? He goes, we didn't have an electronic headset in this airplane. He says, we couldn't talk. So we give each other hand signs. Land.
All right.
Yes. No. Cut the engine. They had different hand signs.
Wow. So when did they incorporate headsets? I mean,
Well, what they had was called a Gosport tube. It was like a hose.
Right.
You'd yell through a hose to earbuds.
kind of just like the old
Just
string
acoustic.
in a can,
But it was a hollow
Right,
tube.
right.
And he said, but it didn't work very well. So they would have used that in addition. They never did get an electronic headset in this airplane. 50% of the students washed out, did not pass the course. They didn't go on to the next two planes. It's a difficult plane. When you sit in that cockpit, you're not going to be able to see straight ahead, are you?
No.
What's ahead of you? Just that engine, right? So how do you think we're going to taxi out here without running into something? Any ideas? There's no periscope.
No.
What we do is we go back and forth.
Oh, okay.
They're called S turns, like the letter S. We use the rudder pedals on the floor. They not only move the rudder, they move that tail wheel. It swivels too.
Okay.
And so we go to the right and we look out the left. Then we go left and we look out the right. You know, you actually stick your head out and look both sides, and that's what they had to do 80 years ago. It was back and forth, S turns. And when you take off and land, you can't see straight ahead. No wonder 50% of them washed out. It's a difficult plane to master. This was meant to weed out the slow learners and keep the sharpest candidates. This is called a pitot tube. It's a hollow tube. When we're flying, you know, the air is rushing in here. That pressure goes down here up to a gauge called airspeed. It tells you how fast you're going. Depending on, you know, the force of the air rushing in here. We'll be going between 70 and 100 miles an hour most of the time. Once we get out 5 miles away and I say, okay, we can talk now, I'm going to give you a little lesson. So I'm going to say, okay, Gabe, put your hand loosely on the top of that stick, on the pedals. And then I'm going to give you a lesson. I'm going to push the stick forward, the airplane will go down. I'll pull the stick back, the airplane will go up. I'll push it forward, we'll go back to level. So down, up, level. Then I'll say, okay, Gabe, I want you to do that. When you do, you look out the window, remember? So pushing forward, you'll see the airplane go down if you're looking. If you're looking at your hand, you won't see it go down. Okay, and you're going to pull it back, you're going to go up, and then back to level. It's very simple. Next, I'll show you how to do a right turn and a left turn, stick and rudder. And then I'll say, okay, your turn. You'll do it. Once again, you'll see how easy it is. That time we'll be over the McDowell Mountains out there. and I can demonstrate 4 different maneuvers depending on how you feel. If we turn left, the needle will go left. If we turn right, the needle goes right. We don't need this today because we can see the ground. We know when we're turning. But if you were in a cloud and couldn't see the ground, this instrument helps you keep straight. It's just a tachometer, engine, RPM, a clock, oil temperature, and oil pressure. So it's fairly simple. Okay, questions?
and your feet on the bottom of the pedals. Now look straight ahead out the window. I'm going to push forward slowly on the stick. We go down. If I pull back, we go up. And then forward again until we're level. You're level when you can see the ground like this. Okay. Abe, you push forward. Let's go down. That's the way. Now let's go up. Up. And back to level. Ah, perfect. Now I'm going to do a right turn. I'm going to go right stick and right pedal. Look out the window. Keep the horizon right in the window. And I could do a left turn by going left stick and left pedal. And then back to level with the right stick and right pedal, like this. Okay, Gabe, you do a right turn. Hold the nose up a little. That's good. Now left turn. And back to level. Right 6. Okay, look in the mirror. I got my hands up here. You're flying it. Look around for other airplanes at all times. Watch still, straight ahead. You're doing great. It's pretty easy, isn't it? Too bad. Good. Why don't you rock it back and forth, right and left? That's the way. All right, would you like me to show you a sharp turn? Yes, go ahead. I'll take it now. Again? Yeah, let's do it. Okay, put your hands and feet on the controls. We're heading back toward the airport now. Let's go down a little bit, down to about 2,500 feet. Just hold it right about there.
Delta Kilo, left at Echo 4, contact now. Left at Echo 4, contact now.
Don't go any steeper. Watch your airspeed. You're going about 100 miles an hour, huh?
am I gonna say about that? That was one of the greatest experiences I've had, and that was found on Airbnb. So if you are in Phoenix, Arizona, come down to the Mesa, in Mesa, the Falcon Field. This is what it's called, the airport. They have lots of airplanes going on, a lot of student pilots. The Air Force Commemorative Museum, great place. I have a video from here. But come do the World War II biplane flight lesson. It was a lesson. I flew that sucker. Craig was awesome. Come and get his thing. It's on Airbnb. Still a little shook. That was awesome. It was cold and fun. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.